Hello, everyone. Happy holidays. I can't believe it's the end of the year. It is December 2024. Welcome to the stories we must tell. I have with us yet another amazing leader, national leader, right now sitting in Ohio. And we are excited to have Dr. Talisa Dixon with us today. Welcome, Talisa.
Thank you. I'm so glad to be here.
So it's so much fun having some time to talk together. You and I were introduced not too long ago by a mutual friend, and we've just hit it off. I just love when this happens. This is like the power of networking, isn't it?
I know it's been so awesome getting to know you and working with you and to be one of the voices of equity. Oh my gosh, it's awesome. Awesome.
There are just so many incredible leaders throughout the nation. We focus on women leaders in particular, but we know that our allies,
Yes.
there's so many amazing of them doing just incredible work. And so we celebrate all of our superintendents, former superintendents, and executive leaders in education. I want to talk a little bit about your work as a superintendent in Columbus City Schools and in Cleveland Heights. And would love to just have you introduce yourself to the audience. What was that like? I know you retired. How does that retired title feel right now? I know I don't like anyone using that title on me.
I know. So, yes, I had the awesome opportunities to lead both in Cleveland Heights and Columbus City Schools. And both districts, which are very different, Cleveland Heights was about 5,000 students, and Columbus City Schools is 50,000 students. One of the things that we know we have in common, we had students who were ready to learn and teachers who were prepared to teach. And when you're in those environments surrounded by a community that really embraces the school and the learning, what better way to go and to lead and to really give kids the opportunities to see their wildest dreams come to fruition through learning. So it was definitely a blessing, and I miss the kids, but
Absolutely.
yes, yes, yes.
But we continue to have incredible opportunities kind of post superintendency to work with students, to continue to have impact on our peers who are now leading in these seats. Before I kind of get into some of that work that I know you're doing and some of the work you and I are doing together, how does this space of the post superintendency what does that look like? I talk to colleagues around the country who have transitioned to other roles and have stepped away. And often it's like shocking for the first few months to not be in the
Yes.
superintendency and not be at that pace, but
Yeah.
not to be right at the heart of that work in a district. How does
Mhm.
this post superintendent time,
Yeah.
work for you and how
Yeah.
does it feel?
Well, you know what? You're right. It feels so very different, especially when you do it at the end of your career. I spent the last 9 years of my career in the superintendency. So when you move on, you're thinking, okay, where do you go next? What do you do next? Because your school community really becomes your family community. And you embrace everyone from your assistants to your security people to your students. So it really becomes your family for about 30 years. So it is one of those eye openings like, oh my gosh, how can I now impact the K-12 space in a different place? And so it's been challenging at times. You think about you just, oh my gosh, I miss it. But then it's freeing at times because you really think about there's some other great opportunities that you can in ways that you can impact the K-12 space.
Yeah, I'm glad you phrased it that way because I tell women leaders who are, thinking about the superintendency all the time that there just is nothing more incredibly special, I think. I think it's an incredible role. It's a
Yes.
great place to find yourself as a leader in this nation. You have tremendous impact on a whole network of people from young people and children all the way to parents, to people in the community, to legislators. There just isn't a road like this,
Yeah.
anywhere else. But when
Yeah.
you step out, like you said, it's your family.
Yeah.
It's your whole
Your
lifestyle.
whole lifestyle, your career. And I think people, I think, don't realize when you get an education, you're really dedicating your whole self to this work. It's very different from other, from other jobs, but it's really a career because you start off in that classroom with the kids. And you really, for most of us, we really see ourselves as developing and more maturing in leadership and just really taking advantage of other opportunities from teaching to the superintendency office. And so it's really one of those ones you say, oh my gosh, I spent my year. Think about the teachers we see that retire after 40 years. You think,
Yes.
oh my gosh, could you really do that? And you look back and say, yeah, I think I could have done 10 more years of it.
Yes, and it's funny because we talk about whether we use the word retirement or we stay away from that word, and we kind of talk about this. So post superintendent work that we do, it's almost as if we never step away, right? We have this network of people nationally that we continue to do work with, and I want to kind of pivot a little bit and talk about one of those things that you're doing right now with a group called the Girls Policy Network, which is really exciting. It's a program that serves high school girls of color in learning about their own policy voice and self-empowerment. These girls, these young ladies are 16, 17, 18 years old. They're just full of energy and hope and expectation. And so I wanted to ask you about that work that you're engaged with and what you've been hearing from these young ladies. What are you learning from them?
Oh, you know what? First, I would say there's so much promise in our future. And we know that as superintendents because we see that all the time across our districts, across the country. But when I sit and listen to the girls and I listen to their vocabulary that they're using now and how they're connecting with one another in this virtual space, it is so both refreshing and empowering. They want to learn more. They're like little kids, elementary kids who are sponges. They're still sponges at 16 to 17, 18 years old. So the questions that they're asking us, they want to know more about us, want to know what to do to prepare themselves for the future. So when I think about that, I said, you know what, world, look out. These young people are ready. These young girls are ready to take on the world. It makes you feel good to be in their presence.
And when I hear them talking about policy issues such as sustainability and resource management, and they're talking about food deserts, and they're talking about the empowerment of women in STEM and in medical fields, it just makes me, like you said, feel so hopeful, like our future is in good hands.
Yeah.
They are already thinking about these issues that I think sometimes, as adults in the community, in a broader community, we forget how much they're paying attention to as
Yeah,
young
yeah.
people.
Because they're just not coming up with these ideas out of the hat. To your point, they already have been thinking about it. When they talked about the food deserts, one young lady said, it's just in some communities. My community should be doing more. To your point, they're seeing these things, they're hearing about them, they're seeing them happening. They want to do more. The young ladies who talked about equity, gender equity, they are seeing how their school districts are prioritizing one gender versus another in their minds and coming up with solutions. I know how to tackle that. So this strategy with policy really gives them the kind of the guardrails to say you can tackle these issues. Here are some ways to do that, and this group will guide you of doing that effectively. And they are so ready. Get us just one quick example. There was one young lady, remember, she couldn't make the next meeting because she was on the swim team, but she said, hey, I know how to make it work. I'm going to stay engaged with my policy group because she was so passionate about
Yes.
um, the work that she wanted to stay engaged, even though she had another commitment for the next couple of weeks. And to me, when you have strategies that students want to come back, they want to make sure that they balance that with their other opportunities, you have something powerful.
And it's just great to learn from them, right? Our
Yes,
young people in this nation push us as the
yes,
leaders to think deeper, to think differently, and
yes,
that's what's so amazing about kind of intergenerational learning as well. If we think of ourselves as leaders in this intergenerational space called public
yes,
education, then
yes,
there's so much we learn from these young people.
yeah,
So
yeah,
one of the things I do want to ask you about, without going down the rabbit hole of
yes,
politics, right? But we
yeah,
do have a situation where we have politicians who have been speaking up in ways that are really not in line with what women in this nation have been talking about their health rights and their body rights. And
hmm,
also, more recently, a comment about how women shouldn't serve in combat. And yet, we have women serving in all of the armed forces all over the world
yeah,
right now and have been for years. So, this
yes,
isn't new,
right.
right? And so, how do we talk to our young ladies who are in high school about
Hmm.
the kind of messaging they're hearing that makes them feel like, whoa, what does this mean for me and my future and my voice and my power?
Right,
What are
right.
some of your thoughts about how do we keep the conversation where we need to keep it?
One, I think we acknowledge that the conversation is happening. We don't shy away from the tough conversations. That's so important because years past, we think about there's some things that, we didn't talk about. They were taboo. You didn't talk about them. Now we are open to those conversations and we're allowing these spaces for young women to talk freely about what they're hearing, about what they're feeling, but we're also setting up spaces that we allow them to do something about it. And I think that's where the power is, that you just don't hear it. You set up a platform where students can actively engage in something that they feel or believe is not right. And I think that's the power of it, I believe. Yeah.
Yeah, I agree with you. Now, time together goes so quickly when we're having these
Yes.
conversations
Yes.
for the show, but I want to make sure that we wrap up by talking about the Tech Power and Equity Conference coming up in January.
Yes.
There's another conversation in space, right? Talking
Yes.
about
Yes. Yes.
women leading in the AI and tech space. We
Yes.
know it is a field that is primarily led
Hmm.
uh,
Hmm.
by men
I
still.
mean, yes.
And so we want to have a space for women to come together. You are one of the conference planners and organizers. You're going to be welcoming the women who attend, and we're excited. We have over 30 women superintendents and several state superintendents attending as well. Women who are in the technology space, who often are one of only in that
Yeah.
space in their districts. What are you hoping to get out of this?
Well, wow. First, I'm just honored to be a part of it. But couple things. One is that networking. I hope women really take this opportunity to really network in this space, to meet other women, to take their information down and to follow up. There could be other opportunities that stem from this conference. The other one is giving women the platform to present their ideas in their work. How many times do we go to other conferences and we don't hear the unique opportunities or the outstanding work that women are doing? So, this opportunity gives women to showcase their work on the national stage. And I think that is so freeing and empowering. And then the last thing is the career opportunities. There may be some networking where people say, hey, let's partner. We may want to do a startup or do a research paper together. We want to be able to collaborate and showcase this work in other spaces. So again, I think the networking, the partnership, the career developing, and just showcasing their work to me is really the things that I hope that there are some powerful takeaways from this opportunity.
Oh, wow. So
Yeah.
many opportunities here when
Yes,
we come
yes,
together as women
yes,
leaders, you
yes.
know, taking advantage of the space together. So I
Mhm.
hope that if you haven't registered yet, January 23rd through 25th in Phoenix, Arizona, Tech Power and Equity, join us. You're going to have Dr. Dixon amongst many other amazing women leaders there. Talisa, thank you for your time. I
Mhm.
so excited that our paths have crossed. It's amazing
Yes. Yes.
when we leave ourselves open to
Yes.
receive others, to
Yes.
be part of our lives. And I'm
Yes.
so glad that you are part of my life
Oh,
now.
thank you. Thank you. That makes me feel so good. And I can't wait to see you and other women at this powerful conference and working with the girls. I can't wait to our next meeting with the
Yes.
girls and to see their projects and just really excited about their future.
Thank you, Dr. Dixon.
Thank you.